All right, so this is a quick breakdown of the major announcement that came in the budget speech announced by Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, and that was the personal taxation announcement. There will be no tax paid for those people who make less than 12 lakh rupees a year, which means that if you fall under that category, you don't pay any income tax at all. Also, remember, there is a standard deduction of 75,000 rupees. So, which means that even if you make 12 lakhs, 75,000 rupees a year, with that standard deduction, you get brought into that category, so you will not pay any tax. Also, this will exempt any income you made from an investment, which will attract capital gains tax. So if you've gotten a capital gains and you've added that to your investment, to your income, you can deduct that and come into the 12 lakhs a year category. So that will actually bring relief to a great number of people who fall in that category, who will now have an extra 75 to 80,000 rupees in their bank accounts every year that they can use for other things. Remember, just yesterday we were talking about how the middle class felt like expenses were too high, wages were not increasing, and this is a great way for the government to leave some money in people's bank accounts so they feel an increase in their spendable wages, or their, feel an increase in their household budget. This will mean that they will be able to go out and buy a few things that they've been putting off for the time being. It will have an effect on consumerism, which, remember, most of the corporates felt that the average Indian was not spending money and was not buying a lot of things. This might actually see a bump up in that and change that. The finance minister has said 1 crore more people will pay zero tax because of this move. So from the middle class, 1 crore more people will pay zero tax. Remember, just yesterday we talked about how about 2.4-ish crore people are actually paying income tax. So that number will come down by 1 crore. It comes down. Maybe we're talking about now 1.5 crore people who will be paying income tax altogether. Apart from this, there were a couple of other interesting announcements, and I've pulled out only the things that I think will affect personal finance per se. One, TCS TCS is tax cut at the source or collected at the source for remittance towards overseas education, which is funded by taking a loan from a bank or a financial institution. So if you have someone, or you are someone who's studying overseas and you've taken a bank loan or a institutional loan to pay for that studies, every time that money is moved overseas, there is a tax that's collected at source that will stop. You still have to pay all taxes that are due, but the TCS will stop. There's also the tax deduction limit at source for senior citizens, which used to be 50,000 rupees a year, is now been taken to 1 lakh rupees a year. You still have to pay tax, but it's not TDS from your fixed deposit like you would normally see. This is a small change, but it changes a little bit of the paperwork. There's another big announcement that came, which is a new income tax law altogether. The act that we have, the Income Tax Act, that all our CAs have studied to get their jobs, that will change next week. It's a big thing. And the finance minister has said that the replacement version will be halved in terms of the number of words and chapters that it has. So she promises that it's not going to be so complicated, and it will also reduce litigation. She said it will reduce, it'll improve compliance. People will find it easier to understand the income tax law and follow it. The other thing, apart from many things that were announced for business, though, the thing that I thought was really interesting, the foreign investment, the foreign direct investment in insurance, which was capped at 74%, has now been pulled up to 100%. So it will open up the insurance sector for investments from global companies. Hopefully will make insurance a little cheaper for us, because we need right now at this point health insurance that's a little more affordable, and I'm hoping that this will lead to that. So these were really the big changes that came in today. This will improve mood, it will improve sentiment, it will improve stock market, it will improve the general buoyancy in the economy, and hopefully a lot of the things that we talked about yesterday in how the middle class was feeling will be sort of improved a little bit. This is obviously not a silver bullet. It doesn't solve all of the problems that we talked about, but it is a step in the right direction, and sort of also gives an idea that this government was listening to what we were saying about how the middle class feels. Big change there for most of the people who fall in that category.